of days for raising your standards to the next level of a different type of the way you have been to the way you can be?
Well, like I said, when I came into the Richway, I didn't really understand my power. I don't think I really walked in it. And what the Richway has done was allow me to see just how powerful I was. So now my standards is at the point where I'm coaching. I'm a true life coach. So I'm coaching people. I'm also speaking. I get paid to go to speaking engagements now. So I think what I did was I answered the question that my standards have been raised to the point where once I got around the right people and the right people, not cultivated, but congratulated and wasn't scared of my power in a sense, allowed me to really own it fearlessly and unapologetically. So now
Awesome.
I'm in a space where I'm getting paid to go speak. I'm building my platform the way it should be and for who I am and the power and the energy that I give off. So yeah, definitely that's how I've raised my standards, and going even higher is to become global. That's the goal. But the whole point of reaching a goal is that you really have to work on your resume. You can't go somewhere if you're not going through the process. And there's steps to becoming magnificent.
That's the Nicole. That's the what's her
The great motivator.
Nichols Michelle Nichols, Lisa Nichols. What's her name?
Lisa Nichols. Lisa
Nichols.
Lisa, yeah.
See, that's the Lisa Nichols reflecting off of you. All right, so let's get ready to bring David on, and let me just finish up with this so that everybody's now connecting in. We got a couple of people together. So a weak plan acted on is worth more than a great plan not acted on. So let's make amazing happen. And the leader who I am following, Honorable David Diaz, who is phenomenal in so many areas, I find it even hard to even bless with just one. He's not only my coach and mentor, but he's also a best friend that I never knew I needed. And he's making phenomenal progress with me from my point of lack to my point of success and giving me direction. He's the guy I must have in my life, and I'm staying connected with him because he's my lifeline. So let's welcome Honorable David Diaz to take on this call and lead this group to the next outstanding level we all need to be at. David, are you ready to take on?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nicole, the great motivator, Jim Lewin, Mike Calloway, Dennis Eduardo Garcia. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. Did I miss anyone?
Hello.
Jeannie Petroni, welcome to the call. It's great to have you all here. Each and every one of you has an amazing story to tell. Each and every one of you is a capable leader able to take this class or any class. Why? Because I hear it in each and every one of you. Each and every one of you has something special to offer. Each and every one of you has something that we all need. Why have we named this class Raise Your Standard? Because we want to be different than the other classes. So what does that mean? One is I don't want to operate as me, I, my. I want to operate as in we, us, together. And I think that some of you know me by now, that is where I come from that perspective. Not from the perspective of saying that I'm bringing you something, but let's create something better together. Sometimes when we build a plan for each of the things that you guys just went over, what you've done this past week, we forget the important little things. And one of those little important things is that we forget about giving time to ourselves. Did you allocate time in your weekly plan, your 168-hour week, for you? Did you do that? Did you take out a day, 2 hours, 3 hours, time to say, hey, it's me time. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to go dancing. We're going to meditate. Whatever it may be, did you do that? Most of us forget to do that. Why do we forget? Perhaps we're not told. Perhaps we just think that we have to build this other thing when we forget to build ourselves. Did you know that most people actually, when you ask them, you know, how much time do you dedicate for you, for building you, as in Dennis, as in Nicole, as in Jim? Most people don't know. Most people are about building someone else. Most people believe I am self-sufficient. I've been there. I know how tough it is to be able to help everybody else and then not be able to answer to all the other questions in building yourself. And the big question that comes to mind with that is your current way of thinking able to get you out of the circumstance that you're in right now? With the current way of thinking that you have, are you able to give yourself the answers that you need to get to the next level? Sometimes we don't realize it, that we get into a position where we try to sell someone else on a bigger and better story, but we forget to sell ourselves on a bigger and better story, because we are so fixed and locked in into a purpose, into a goal, that we're not willing to accept anything better. And when you get into that situation, did you know you've got to be careful? Because when you're focused on something, you should be aware that you could be giving up something bigger and better coming out in your life. Sometimes we lock in so much into becoming a millionaire that we forget that there are other possibilities out there. Sometimes being a millionaire is not everything for everyone. And our current way of thinking might tell us we're focused on this goal so much that I don't care what somebody else tells me, I'm not going to budge. But what happens if the goal that you're being told is bigger than the one that you're focused on? That's going to bring you your biggest growth. And that's why I want to ask you a few questions that I wrote down here that might be able to help us in answering, are we taking the time to think, not just about helping others, but how about helping ourselves? So one of these questions is, what gives your life meaning? Is it being upset? Is it being angry? Is it being grateful? Is it being helpful to others? Is it being part of a team? What gives your life meaning? If you have anger at the tip of your tongue, if you have disgust, if you're disgusted with whatever situation you're in, if you are unhappy, if you are challenged, if you want to hurt someone, believe it or not, I've just talked to someone recently who wanted to hurt somebody else. And I was like, well, what would you do to them? So they were up to the point where they wanted to hurt someone, but they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do. So I just started to ask them, a few questions. What do they want to do? What do they want to accomplish? And is it going to meet their needs? And they talked themselves out of wanting to hurt someone. Because if you're locked into whatever goal you're locked into, then how are you going to accept bigger and better opportunity? You might want to become a millionaire, but what happens if I want you to become a billionaire? What happens if you're given an opportunity to start a nonprofit, and that nonprofit And that nonprofit.
David, excuse me. I'm sorry. Guys, do me a favor, guys. Mute your mics, please, because the interruption is breaking David's focus and conversation. So please mute your mics. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. So sometimes we're locked into these opportunities, and how do we get into opening up and understanding other opportunities that are out there, that could be out there, bigger and better than what we're presented? Because that's what happens. And the harder you work, as I heard some of you on this call, I'd say the last one that I heard was Nicole. Nicole has a following. You know, you got to take her seriously. You got to take each and every one of you seriously. Why? Because today you have 10 followers, and Nicole might have many more than you do. However, you've got to respect her when she comes on, whether it is what you want to hear, or maybe it's not what you want to hear. And maybe it makes you feel uncomfortable. But that's what we do when we're in the verge of getting exponential growth to our lives from someone else. It's going to challenge us. It's going to make us question, why are we doing this? It's going to freak us out. I mean, it's wonderful to have a following like that. You know, and I don't want to underestimate anyone. One person that follows you is worthwhile and accomplished. You know, it's hard to get 2, 10 people, 20 people to follow you for the right reasons. And what do I mean by that? I have at least 5,000 to 10,000 followers, but they're not following me for the reasons that you might think. They follow me for my nonprofit, because through my nonprofit, I do parties, I do socials, I do off-road events that require a motorcycle, that require a four-wheel or off-road vehicle. But are those the people that I want to associate with in the end? Yes, I do, but they're not the ones that I'm trying to build now. And those were the people I was concentrating on bringing into a program like this that allows them to think beyond the normal capacity of saying, I'm making $400 a week, I'm satisfied, I don't need to make anything else. Well, if it were just about that, then your current way of thinking is not going to get you out of thinking higher, of thinking in a more positive way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does anyone have a question in reference to this? What take your silence is you don't know which question to ask. Just ask one and we'll work with the rest as they come.
Well, I definitely have a question for you, David.
Dennis.
There's a significant amount of different personalities. There's a significant amount of different self-awareness that this group has as a representative. We've got different jobs, different mentalities, different areas of confidence, different areas of success, different ideas of who we think we are. And we are all with you on the progress for where you want to be, and at the same time finding out where we individually need to be. So the connection that I'm going to ask you is the steps, the differences, the gap, that major gap that all of us feel that we are trying.
I couldn't hear you.
All right, so we're
I'm
all
losing you.
Can you hear
Maybe
me?
It's me.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you got me now? You got me? You're the one that's mobile.
Okay, got you now.
All right, so in general, we're all from different backgrounds. We're all from different personalities. We're all from different levels of awareness. If you can direct, either in this call on a weekly basis or whatever, to fill the gap that we don't know we need to fill or how we need to fill it, what do we need to do to get committed to your efforts for our gap?
That's a great question, Dennis. What do we need to do to fill our gaps? Number one, how many people are you connecting to on a weekly basis? That's a very important question. Because you don't know when someone's going to say something, it might seem small, minute, irrelevant, but it could be so powerful. And that's why I enjoy on going and meeting up with Jim and Dennis. Once in a while, I'm trying to get Mike in as well involved. The ladies don't like too much hiking and trails, but eventually, I know they'll give in. They'll come once in a while. I'm certain that Jeannie and Nicole will someday come and join us, especially the ones that are in the New York area. But in the meantime, when I've had the opportunity, not asking to grow in any specific way, you know, Dennis has offered me a point of view that I've appreciated. Nicole has offered. Jeannie, Mike, Jim, Eduardo, we haven't spoken much, but even from the talks that we have had, I mean, I'm amazed at the progress that you've made, and I welcome the opportunity to grow together. So that's why I ask you, who are you connecting with? That should be your number one question in reference to your thinking. And then number two, say that again. Mike? Hold on. Let me mute Mike's line. Hold on 1 second here. Let's see. Okay, everybody's muted. I think, yeah. All right, so if you need to unmute yourself, I think those who are calling direct have to press *6, and those who on the call would have to just unmute yourself. So these are other questions as well. What brings you joy? We're so focused on growth. We're so focused on stress. We're so focused on the wrongs of life, on the clashes of life, on the intersections in life. But what brings us joy? You know, at times I've gotten on the call with one or two of you, and you ask me, you know, get me out of this situation. I'm like, what situation do we have now? You know, and I don't ask you what brings you joy, but I try and tell you that it's there indirectly. And you've got to remember that when you're in that situation, that your current situation, your current thinking can't get you out of, and you've got to search for some other person that can get you out of that situation. Another question is, what gifts do you bring to the table, to others, to yourself? Because we're constantly thinking, what gift do we bring to others? What gifts do we bring to the table? But what gifts do you bring to yourself? When you are stuck in a situation, do you take 10 minutes to meditate? 10 minutes to think of a better way to think of a situation? You know, I've been stressed because I was trying to do 10 things at once. I was trying to write a book, trying to run a class, trying to become a coach, trying to do my nonprofit, which is taking a lot of my time, trying to create some talks. I have some speaking engagements coming along as well. Trying to create some video for my pages. It's a lot. It can be overwhelming. And what did I do? I halted. I stopped to think. And I thought to myself, what do I need to do to get myself in a way that I'm not overdoing myself? What's most important for me? What are the gifts that I need to bring to myself, to others, that will allow me to grow and to have others grow in my life and in their lives as well? So I stopped writing a book, and I stopped a few other things. Because if I'm not growing myself along with you, then eventually I'm going to run out of things to do that are productive for myself, not for you. So if you've come across this intersection, just be careful. Sometimes it's hard to make the choice. Left, right, up, down. 45-degree angle, 135-degree angle, whatever it may be, you've got to make a choice. And that's why you need accountability partners. That's why you need to take out time to meditate, right? How is life calling on you? How is it calling on you? Is it asking you to put up with the stress? Or is it asking you to look at the stress on a different level? Are you aware that there are different ways to look at your current situation? Are you aware that you might be going to go through the toughest times right now in order to have the most exponential growth in your life and those people you affect? Get ready. Get ready. Why? Why does the world need the gifts you bring? Why does it build value for you? How does it create value for others? How does it build value for you? Your gifts. How do you bring your gifts to create value for others? How do you want to make others feel? Do you want them to be angry? Do you want them to be happy? Do you want them to see a different perspective? You see, sometimes it's not about telling someone, I have all the right answers. No. It's about shutting up and listening. No one has all the right answers. No one is the first person to say that they have all the right answers, is the last person to have all the right answers. No one person has all the. I don't know rocket science. Maybe one of you does. But if you do, you probably don't know a different type of science. You don't know about the violin. You don't know about the ghetto. You don't know about city life. You don't know about suburban life. Whatever it may be, there's always something to be learned. What's memorable about you? You know, I've connected with each and every one of you, and I know that each and every one of us has challenges. And all I can tell you is, hang on. Look for what else the situation that you're currently in could mean. I know what you think it means, and I know that you might be concentrating on that meaning, but what good does it to you to be concentrated on that meaning? Are you satisfied with that meaning? Are you unhappy with that meaning? Are you freaking pissed off with that meaning? I've been pissed off with some meanings that I've given in my life. You know, sometimes my wife challenges me. I'm like, oh man, what the freak is going on? Why is she challenging me now? Sometimes I need to hear it. And I've learned either to answer in a way that it seems as if she's upset with me, and she loves it when I tell her that. It seems, honey, that you're upset with me. What do I have to do to make things right? And when it seems that I understand her, things work out better. You know, as we were coming here, I needed a few minutes because I was with her in the car and we were talking about something pretty important. that we needed to address for this Saturday, because I'm headed down to Virginia and then coming back up. And she was not too happy because I had to go down to Virginia, and she forgot. So she started to make plans. So even though your thinking is, everybody knows what I should be doing, everybody knows that I communicated with them, well, guess what? People forget. They need to be reminded. And their focus is on a specific situation that they forget about every other possibility. Don't you know someone in this situation? Guys, don't you, girls, ladies, don't you know someone in this situation? Haven't you come across? If you need to unmute yourself, you can press *6 if you're on the call, or unmute in the
Hello, yeah, this is the great motivator. You know, I'm always giving feedback. I think we constantly, especially in that situation when you are around family and friends. I mean, most often, you know, or even in business. Let me not just say it's mostly with family and friends, but even in business, you know, you have to have a clear, direct line of communication. I so agree with you, David. I just so agree with you. And yeah, you told us to ask a question. I wanted to ask a question about, I think we all got to figure out why we're here at the Richway. You know, why are we here? Why did we decide to come into this surrounding? Why are we just here for the one-on-one coaching, or are we here to change our surroundings and get around like-minded people so it can elevate us? I know for me, it was more of, I wanted to polish I wanted to package my delivery better. You know, I'm always been a fan of perfecting my craft and also understanding my deficits, because the one thing we fail to realize is that we all have deficits as humans. And I had to learn that I had to get with people that were strong where I was weak. Right. And being here, speaking to Dennis often, because he is if he doesn't know it, he needs to grasp it quick, that he is an awesome speaker. Like, he speaks phenomenally. Like, I listen to him and be like, okay, I need to up my vocabulary. But see, a lot of us are scared to focus on our deficits. We just want to work on our qualities because we want to be the superhero. But even Superman had a deficit. Even Batman had a deficit. We all have deficits that we have to focus on, which makes us the greatest person that we can ever be. So being here in the Richway with like-minded people made me understand that I'm not the only one striving to be the best that I can be, and I'm not the only one struggling.
That's right. That's right. That is right.
So I just ask everybody to say, you know, ask your questions. When you get in these classes, don't sit in the background and be quiet. Your world will never change if you're not speaking up. That's a part of communicating and letting people know where you stand. I just say, why are we here in the Richway? Why are we here in Raise Your Standards in the class? Why are we here? I'm here to just get a better perspective, because I knew that David will bring that to the table. I knew you would bring it to the table. And thank you. It kind of helped me own why I'm here in the Richway. You know, definitely refocus me to why I'm really, really here in the Richway. So I just want to thank you, David, Dennis, everybody that's on the line that I didn't get a chance to speak to, or even me. I want to say I hope I meet you at a Richway seminar and do what it is that I'm here to do. Be surrounded by great-minded people who are fearless and unapologetic about who they are, and that own their weaknesses as well as their strengths, and which we understand how to prevent threats through understanding our weaknesses, and we know how to build opportunities to gravitate towards our strengths. Amen?
Absolutely. Nicole, you are absolutely amazing.
Amazing, Nicole.
So I got to step up. You know, Nicole, thank you for appreciating my abilities and my skills. There's a lot of areas that I feel I need to fill my gap. And Tejas, who's on a mobile line probably, and the guys I've been working with already. Anybody who ever hears me speak know that I speak from my heart. And there's a lot of areas in my life that I feel I need to step up my standards, not just to where I used to be, but to where I didn't know I could be. And there's a lot of people in Richway that remind me that where my limit is on my next survival and standard for that next level is an okay goal at the moment. But all of you guys remind me that my next level goals are nowhere near my potential unlimited goals that I should be setting. Speaking to Mike, speaking to Antaeus, Nicole, working with you, David, working with you. I mean, Jim, you challenged me phenomenally. So there's a lot of, yes, I need to set my next goals for where I believe my next level of survival can be, but raising my standards to just that next level is not why I'm here. I can do that on my own. I can go to my next level of survival and sustainability on a regular basis. But David, Nicole, Jim, Mike, Antaeus, Jeannie, all of you guys in this group push me to set goals beyond where I think my comfort level and my abilities where I believe are. So I bless you all, guys. Thank you very much. And Jim, don't take that bless as a religious thing, but I'm grateful for all you guys being here. So let's make amazing happen. David, let's get this going.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. I love to hear from you always. Dennis, same. And I tell you that sometimes it's not the big things. It's the little things. And just listening to Nicole there and what she said a message. I don't know how many of you caught it, but sometimes we join a program and we don't exactly know why we joined, but we should figure out what's the purpose. And Nicole hit that right on the money. Sometimes we think that we join it because it's a lucrative industry. It can be. But money will not make you happy if you do not help others. Nicole, I see you have your hand raised there. Did you want to talk, or is that from before? Sorry.
Sorry, that's from before. Let me take it down. I thought it automatically lowers, but I saw again. No, I'm good.
My fault. My fault. But so, why are we really here? Did you ask yourself that? What's your current way of thinking? Are you here because you're here to meet people? Are you here because you want to make more money? Are you here because you want to sell something to people? There are many reasons to be here. But if you're not asking yourself that question, how are you going to figure it out? Talk with someone. This class today is about our current way of thinking. We forget to put that into our plans. We forget to take time to meditate. We forget to take time to say, this is my 2 hours or day for me, my me time. Napoleon Hill didn't name his book Think and Grow Rich just by chance. It's because we forget to think. And he says, in every chapter, I give you a clue of what you've got to do to evolve yourself. But the title says it itself. Stop to think. Show me your plans, your 168-hour work week or timesheet. How much time have you dedicated for you? Think, and think. Are you doing way too many things like I was? Are you in it for the wrong reasons like I have been in some programs? This program, I'm here. I'm going to become a coach someday. But that's not my purpose because I'm living it already. It's helping out people like you. helping us out. If I offer you information, one way or another, you will give me information. So this class is raise your standard. And I'm going to raise each and every one of your standards. How? Number one, you'll be able to introduce at the beginning of the class. You'll get 10 to 15 minutes. Number two, after you do that cycle and everybody goes through it, you'll get 10 to 20 minutes to talk in this class. Because it's not about one person, it's about us. All right? So next week, Mike's on the line, and he's learning. And I hopefully after that, maybe Jeannie or Nicole or Jim or Edward or anyone else who's on this call. Pat, welcome, Pat. It's been a while. Antaeus, welcome. And somebody else is on this call. I don't know who is, but welcome to the call. So I want to go over a few more questions that you need to concentrate on asking yourselves pretty quickly because time's short. And I want these few last-minute impressions to dive into you because sometimes we forget to dive and we get up on a cliff and we just enjoy the view, but we forget to take that dive. You know, and I don't mean to commit suicide, but I mean to absorb some of the things on our own terms. All right? How do you want to make others feel? Right? That was the last question that we addressed. And then what's memorable about you? How do you want to be remembered? Sometimes we don't care. Is that the way we want to be remembered? Who needs the gifts that you bring to the table? Who needs them? What are those gifts? What's missing from your life and from the world? What is missing? Do you need a partner? Do you need to get away from a partner? Or do you need one? Do you need people in your life? Or do you need to get away from people? Do you need more money? Or do you need to give money? I'm here to accept money. So if you got money to give, bring it my way, baby. Trying to make you guys laugh, but all I get is a serious laugh. But I'll take that. That's good enough. If money wasn't an issue, what would you do with your time? When did you take time to think about this? If money wasn't an issue, what would you do with your time? Did you know that those who have millions and millions upon millions are lonely at the top? They can't share with you and me because they're at a level that not many people get to. So, talk to me. What's missing from your life? If money wasn't an issue, what will you do with your time? I ask people, let's get together, especially the ones in New York. I ask people, are you taking care of your health? I've helped doctors turn around their lives, but unfortunately, I cannot give you their names. Unfortunately, they cannot go and talk about the turnarounds that we've done. Because isn't it embarrassing to have a non-medically licensed doctor heal a doctor? Because this doctor was told you're going to have to use this pump for life. Because this doctor was told you're going to die from cancer. And they've turned it around. Because this doctor was told they have diabetes and overweight issues and they have to address it. And it's unfortunate that I cannot address those here and tell you who they are, because it's possible you might know some of these people. So what do? I provide strategies in health and finances. I help people. I educate, train, and develop people so they can plan their financial future. In health, I help people realize that their current health situation might not be where they really want to be. But in reality, it's not about the solution. It's about the connection. Do I make the connection with you? Dennis, Nicole, Mike, Jeannie, Antaeus, you all, Eduardo, you all make a connection with me. I make a connection with you, hopefully. And if I don't, I thank each and every one of you for making a connection with me. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'm glad that we have met. I'm glad that we connect. When was the last time that you were grateful with those that you connect on a weekly basis? You have something special to give, but you also have something special to receive. Receiving is not that easy, I know, because giving is all we have. Give, give, give. We don't know when we're going to receive. But I want to thank each and every one of you because you're special in my life. You're special to this program. You're special for you. Are you ready to receive? Speaking of receiving, next week we have a topic that Nicole has somewhat mentioned, but I'm not going to mention it again because hopefully Nicole forgot, at least for a few days. And then we'll bring it up next week. Hopefully she'll be able to sleep even though I've mentioned that. But she mentioned the topic, so I try to veer off that topic. And by now, hopefully, she's forgotten. And none of you...
I have.
Well, we recorded this, but the topic next week builds on this topic. And the important thing is that each and every one of you needs to be part of this because we're going to grow together. We're not going to grow just as an individual. We're going to grow as a team. And what I mean by that is Dennis said something to everyone here that I was listening to, and I was like, wow, that's really good. Man, he said that to so-and-so? Why didn't I think of that? And then Mike comes around and he said something, and I was like, wow, why didn't I think about that? And then Nicole comes around and she gives a grand slam. And I hope some of you caught it. And then Jeannie, I know Jeannie's doing, a few things. I know she's juggling a lot of responsibilities. And I don't blame her if we don't connect this weekend because I know she's trying to do everything she can. Sometimes we have to slam the brakes and think, do I have enough time to accomplish all of this? Am I willing to sacrifice and stop doing this so that we can grow later? And Nicole hit that on the nose. I've hit that on the nose. I had to do it. It's a disappointment on one end, but on another end, it's like, wow, I was trying to do all of this at once. And if I had stopped earlier, I would have appreciated it more. So I thank you, Nicole, for reaffirming that I'm on the right track because you're on the right track. And if you're on the right track, I'm on the right track. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'd like to leave you with this one last thing. Next week, in the next 7 days, okay, who are you going to connect with? Are you going to connect with me? Are you going to connect with Dennis, me? Are you going to connect with Mike, with Jim? Are you going to connect with Nicole? Are you going to connect with Jeannie? Who are you going to connect with? It might work out It might not. But how are you going to find out if you don't do it?
I think it'll always work out as long as you're connected with somebody to realize whether there's a limitation or phenomenal growth. So
Well,
connect with somebody regardless.
This is the question I want you to answer when you're connecting with someone. What problem do you want to solve, or what problem are you going to be able to help others solve? So what do you want to solve, or what are you going to help to solve? Sometimes we forget that we're here to help others in specific ways.
True.
So I ask you, connect. You're going to grow. I hear it in each and every one of your voices. You're going to grow. And I want to thank you all for being on this call. I know we're past the time. I know we're 2 minutes beyond. So I want to end it with this. I love each and every one of you. If I have not connected with you, please forgive me. It was my daughter's graduation this week, and I don't remember what else I had to do with the family this week. I had to take my daughter to the neurologist, and I had to cancel some things. So if I didn't connect with you, I'm sorry. But we are here to serve. And before this program becomes out of control in the numbers, take advantage that we are in small numbers, because as we grow, you're going to grow, everyone's going to grow, and we might not be able to talk as much. All right? So again, remember, connect with someone this week and ask yourself, what problem do you want to solve? How are you going to solve it? What are you willing to solve? Always look at the things that are in front of you, not in the way that you want, but in the other person's shoes. Thank you, everyone, for making it on this call. And before we end it, I want to ask you, does anyone have a question or any comment they want to say? Quick comment before we end it. Anyway,
When's the next seminar in New York?
So the next seminar in New York is probably going to be the first week of October.
Oh, you can hear me.
September is a crazy month. So we've planned it so that the last week is probably going to be the Virginia seminar, and then the first week of October is going to be the New York seminar. If you think it should be a different date, we can consider it. But I'd like to make both. So it'll either be the New York seminar first, and then the Virginia seminar afterwards. We could do that as well.
Yeah, we need an earlier date for New York. We really do.
Great. Excellent. So let me work on that, and we'll see what date we can get. All right. So I don't know who's coming to this financial breakthrough. I'm flying in and out, and I hope to connect with each and every one of you, my brothers and sisters. At the count of 3, you know what the saying is. 1, 2, 3. Stay rich.
Stay rich.
God bless everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's connect
Yes.
throughout the week.
Great class.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
You all have greatness in you. Let's step up. Raise your
Hey,
standards.
Rich, thank you, Dennis. Bye,
Bye.
bye,
Bye.
David. Thank you.